Somers Point Democratic Club presents Today's Point with Dan Myers and Levi Fox.
Welcome to Today's Point. I'm Dan Myers.
And I'm Levi Fox.
And we're here in Somers Point, and we're talking about all kinds of great things. And one of the great things we have today for you is one of the second congressional district candidates. Her name is Ashley Bennett. So Ashley, come on over.
Hello.
Welcome, Ashley. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We're
Thank
so
you
glad
for having me.
We're so glad you could join us. Very
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you. Very good.
Nice to meet you.
So, I hear you're working pretty hard.
I am. I definitely am.
Yeah, your schedule is just off the charts.
That is absolutely true. I work a full-time job as well as sit on our current freeholder board, and I am a candidate for Congress for the 2nd Congressional District.
Very good. And what we'd like to ask you, first of all, is just tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, things like that.
Sure. So I'm actually born and raised in Atlantic County. I've grown up here my entire life. Went to Egg Harbor Township High School, class of '03, best class ever. And my mom's parents they migrated here from South Carolina, and they were factory workers at Lennox China up until their retirement. And my dad's family is native to Atlantic City and to the school system. So my grandmother was security in the high school, so I got in all of the basketball games for free. Great times. And my grandfather was a janitor, and he had a little window washing business on the side. And so my mom, she raised us as a single parent, and we experienced, trauma very early. My mom had a brain tumor, and she had surgery, and she lived. But when she came home and I was in 3rd grade at the time, she didn't know who we were.
Wow.
So very impactful, understanding, trials and tribulations very early on in my life. And through that, and just my faith and the resiliency my mom, really instilled in us, I thought I was going into ministry. I really loved church. And that was going to be my career path. I never expected to be here in a million years. Never. And what happened was, it was 9/11. I was a junior in high school. And I had a cousin in the South Tower, and I had a cousin in the Judges Building next door. So we were picked up from school. And I had to wait and see what was going to happen with my family members. And that was yet another sense of feeling powerless, to control any type of outcome that would happen. And fortunately, my family members came home, but we all know that so many didn't. And I was really inspired by the first responders that day. And I decided I wanted to be an emergency medical technician with the hopes of one day being an ER physician. Well, I pestered my mom at 16, I'm going to do this. And she said, how about you just graduate high school? Just do that. But I pestered her. I went to EMT school at night while going to school and having all the, general activities one has when they're in high school, sports and what have you. And worked as an EMT and really discovered mental health in the back of an ambulance.
I see.
This predates Google Maps and all of that. So you actually had to know where you were going when you drove the ambulance. I really didn't. So all of my partners, they took mercy on me and let me treat patients. And I just really connected with our mental health population. I went to Rutgers, New Brunswick. I did a year at ACC while I was working, but then I transferred to Rutgers. Got a bachelor's in psychology, and that was not expected either. I was initially a bio major. And then me and my microscope, we got together in class and we really didn't see eye to eye. I saw one thing, it showed a different thing.
It was more of an idle lens kind of
Yeah, we just didn't click. And so we broke up. And I decided I was going to major in psychology. So I got my bachelor's in psychology. I was a McNair scholar, did original research at the University of Baltimore. And just really immersed myself in the field. I went on and got a graduate degree from Georgian Court University up in Ocean County in community counseling. I've been working in the field of mental health for over a decade. I've been a domestic violence counselor for abusers. I have done all kinds of things.
What was the first office you ran for?
So the first office I ran for was freeholder. I never expected to be.
How did that turn out?
I never expected to be in politics. So
Ashley is now a freeholder in Atlantic County.
yes. So it's interesting enough because I just knew like Hillary Clinton was going to win. And I was so confident. I went to sleep on election night. And something in my spirit at like 2:30 in the morning said, you got to wake up. You're missing it. It's the first female president. So I turned on the TV, CNN, and I'm watching the map go red. And I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Dear God.
I think we all said that.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Yeah.
And, after feeling very, just defeated, cried, had a couple of friends who were very supportive of the person on the other side.
Good thing you were into mental health.
Yes, because my mental health was very much affected. And I just decided I had to get involved. And so one of the first things I did was join my local Atlantic County party. And then the Women's March came around, and I was super excited. I was like, I'm going to this. So I put in that vacation request at my job, and they just kind of hit me with the cool denial. Like, yeah, that we didn't have coverage. And I've worked at as a psychiatric emergency screener for the last 9 years in Cape May County, the southern part of the district. And so we maintain the suicide hotline and do all of the outreaches and mental health assessments. So they didn't have coverage, so I had to stay. But I was so inspired. And then my local elected official, my own freeholder, decided to mock the Women's March on social media. Said, will they be home in time to cook dinner? It was the meme heard around the world. And so I wrote him a letter, and I said, 5 casinos closed, people out of work, high rates of foreclosure. How do you actually have time to be on social media? Didn't get a response. So I went to the freeholder meeting, and that meeting was interesting because, now being elected, seeing that it's a rarity when people actually go to those meetings. The lines were outside the door. Somebody brought like a textbook on feminism. Somebody bought a box of macaroni and cheese. I thought that was hilarious. And takeout menus, like cook your own dinner. And so I waited to see what he would say. And he said, well, the women I surround myself with are strong. And they're sure of themselves. And they didn't get offended by this. And I was like, oh. Did he just inadvertently say we're weak and sensitive and emotional?
I don't think it was inadvertent, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna give a pass on that. But I said, okay, I'm gonna take my weak, sensitive, emotional self and run for that seat. And I won that seat. I carried both. Thank you. I carried both towns at the polls and in vote by mail. And as a result of that race was the race heard around the world as well. I ended up on every major news network and on the cover of Time.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that I feel like is one thing that sets you apart from other candidates is that you've shown your ability to make a national name for yourself.
Yes.
And I'll add that a little bit of political theater can go a long way with the takeout menus and so forth.
Definitely can. And so that's one thing that you are correct, Levi, that does set me apart is that I know what it's like to run a campaign and lead from the outside in a conservative district and to be thought of as, an insurgent and win and then now hold office. So I understand what that's like, but there's a weight of that. And so campaigning and serving are two different things. And what I have found is that, when you go into a board, you don't get to pick your committees or the things that you're assigned to. You are given those things and assigned those things, and you have to dance in the box that you're given. And so that's what I've been able to do. So I serve on the Library Commission, I serve on the Youth Services Commission, and a few other, ad hoc committees. But I've been appointed to the National Association of Counties. And I'm the first one from our board to be appointed there in 16 years. I just got reappointed for my second term through the New Jersey Association of Counties. So I serve on a board nationwide.
I feel like your voice is something that is needed in all these committees and all these things you're working on. And your voice is the thing that you bring. So tell me more about how you do that.
So what it is, a counselor by trade, understanding how to listen to people, listen for our differences, but listen for what our desires are. And what I found, and having relationships on both sides of the aisle, is that we all really want the same thing. We just have different pathways or thoughts of how we get there. And I think when you treat people with respect, when you come from a place of how can we work together?
You mean you don't mock people for trying to be publicly engaged?
No, no. Because I believe that when people elect you, they elect you to be the adult in the room. And so because of that, I try to treat people the way I would like to be treated on the board, and I think that it resonates with the respect that I do have for my colleagues.
Well, when I heard you speak at one of the was the Northfield Democratic Club, I was very impressed.
Thank you.
I really like the way you speak about the issues and where you come from. It gives you the background to understand and stay grounded with people that have things that the government needs to help them with.
Absolutely.
And, we're very proud of that.
Thank you.
Very proud of you with that.
Well, I think that's one point is that I appreciate Dan bringing up is, we've tried on this show to talk about what government can do. Not saying that we need to get rid of taxes, but saying, well, the taxes go to provide a fantastic education and social services that empower all of us and lift us up as a community.
Correct.
So I was hoping maybe you could speak for a minute or two on what is a freeholder board,
Sure.
what you've seen and what, on that level and even on the higher level you think could be done.
So on the freeholder board, we maintain all of county government. So this is when you think about community college, and we talk about, free community college and attendance and enrollment, the budget for the community college comes from the freeholder board. So we maintain that budget. We maintain all of our county roads, all of the appointments, all of the hiring. We do all of that, all the business that would be the county. So when you think of a mayor and a city council, that's your municipal government. And you think of, your state, your governor, and your legislature, that's your state government.
So you're like the Congress for the county.
Essentially, yes. So between us and our county administration and our county executive, yes. And so we do all of that. And one of the things that made me decide to run for our congressional seat is, I still, as much as I've had a lot of media attention because of my freeholder race, and I've got a lot of opportunities because of that, I still have a sense of powerlessness that doesn't go away. And what I mean by that is that I still work a job where I get to see the trials and tribulations of the human condition every day when you're in crisis. So when you pick up that hotline, you never know what somebody's going to tell you. And I tend to tell people, you essentially have to be the greatest salesperson on the face of the earth. You're selling life to people who don't want it. And you can't fix the issues that upset them and that they're going through. There's homelessness, there's substance abuse, there's grief processes for when you lose a loved one, there's depression and anxiety and lack of access to care. I, as a county freeholder, can't fix that, and that upsets me. And that weighs on me.
But you do use it as your source to keep you motivated.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There was a profound situation I had even recently. And I tend to not get really emotional in my job because you have to have that delineation. But I was called to a doctor's office to see a 12-year-old girl who was suicidal. And I'm talking with her. Her mom was undocumented. And she said that, her mom had an immigration letter. And she said sometimes they deport mommies and daddies. Oh. And mommies and daddies are supposed to stay together. And in talking with the mom, via translation, she said, I can't leave here not knowing that my daughter's going to be okay. And I had to excuse myself because I was emotional, because I thought, where are we at as a country, as a people? Where's our compassionate nature? Where's our empathy? And I didn't see somebody who was undocumented. I saw a mother. And I don't have children, but I have a mother. And I know my mom would go through anything to get us to where we needed to be safe and to be happy and to be healthy. And so when I saw her, I saw that. A mother who left her home to give her children a better way of life.
So you come from a healthcare background.
Yes.
And that is your focus.
Yes.
Or at least what keeps you grounded.
Absolutely.
And let's say both. Mm-hmm. And another issue that I think that I heard you're involved with is homelessness.
Yes. Yes. So,
How many folks in the second congressional district do you think suffer from homelessness?
a lot. I think
We're talking
there's
thousands of people, maybe.
probably, but also think about housing instability.
Right.
How many people are living like one bad paycheck away from not being able to afford their mortgage?
And affordable housing is something that we have talked about previously on the show, and to me is something that's underappreciated as a factor, because that's one of the things that makes it so much more challenging to be able to contribute to your community and to get a leg up for your family. And
Absolutely. So in the southern part of the district in Cape May County, where I work full time, there are 2 tent communities. So I'm like imagining the weather.
In Cape May County?
Yes, there are 2 communities where people are living in tents, and so when
Good thing we don't get hurricanes or anything like that.
no, we
Yeah.
don't have hurricanes or
No,
rain.
we don't have
it's
any of
always
that.
sunny.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a good thing.
Yeah.
And so I am connected to the desperation that people feel. And it is my own trials and tribulations growing up and experiences inform me of the needs of others. And I just think if you're going to be in government, you should be there to be a blessing to people, and you should be there to uplift people.
So these are all the reasons that you want to continue your political life on the federal level.
Absolutely.
So you have more influence and are
Absolutely.
able to affect these policies in a greater way.
100%.
Yeah.
If I can't have a representative that are going to focus on the needs of the people who don't feel that they're heard, then I'm just going to go there and do it myself.
Well, we really admire you,
Thank
and we wish you good luck in your candidacy.
And we really appreciate you coming to talk to us
Oh,
today.
absolutely. This is fun.
Yeah, and we, as far as our audience is concerned, we just want to let you know how appreciative we are to have Ashley here talking with us. She is super sincere about what she's talking about. You can feel it very strongly. I hope it came through the camera. So here we are from Summers Point, today's point. And don't forget to make comments if you have any comments. We can give you information, and we're going to put the phone number on the screen for you to call and make comments, or you can make comments on YouTube. So thank you very much.
We want to hear from you, so we know how to make our show better in the future. Thanks, Dan, and thanks, Ashley. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Find me at ashleybennettforcongress.com for all of my policy positions, and reach
I'm
out
sorry,
to me.
what was that website again?
It's ashleybennettforcongress.com. And if you feel the need, donate. This race is a people's movement, and we can't do it without you.
Thank you.
This has been a Summers Point Democratic Club presentation. Recorded at New Road Studio. You are go for another third stage production.